Sorry, I had to do that. I'm home alone. I like to yell when I'm home alone. Ah! It's fun. But, hey! I haven't done a one-on-one thing in a while. And since I worked all day, now I've got nothing to film and no one to film with. I'm just pacing around my house. I'm a little hyper. I don't know why I'm hyper, but yeah. Family went and saw Transformers 2 without me. Even though I've seen it twice, I still want to see it again because it was awesome. I don't give a shit what you say. A lot of people say it's essentially the same thing as blindfolding yourself and banging pots of pans together. That wasn't quite the same to me. I don't know about you guys. Critics are so stupid and lame. I'm trying to think of things to do. Nobody's made a freaking group on Facebook for people to, what? What's a pero? What's a pero? Somebody just called me a pero. What's that? P-E-R-O? So I'm gonna say qua? Q-W-A-H question mark? Yeah, I made that group on Facebook, and everybody joined, but nobody left suggestions for it. Blair wants me to do an exclusive of his multicolored plaid pants. Not gonna happen, dude. Sorry. You know, it's just not gonna happen. So, yeah. I don't know. I'll think of something. Oh, I'm gonna take a moment to talk about something very serious. I'm gonna calm down. Talk about something very serious. As y'all know, I went back to band camp this week, and I'm very glad I went Tuesday. Tuesday I went and I saw a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a while, and one of them was my really good friend Haley. And what makes this like such a big impact to me is like that day, I mean, we were hugging, we were making jokes, laughing, everything was fine, and I never expected it to happen. But Wednesday, Haley was in a very bad car accident, and she's in good condition. She's stable. Her operations are going well. She's doing great, which I'm very thankful for. But it was a very bad car accident. She was not in good shape to begin with, but now she's good. It's looking very good for her, but thankfully. So I just want to take a moment. Anybody that's not already or didn't know about it, just, you know, keep her in your prayers and your thoughts. You know, think of her, pray for her family, you know, for a quick and successful recovery, because we're all very worried about her and we can't wait to see her again. I didn't want to talk about it because it's been a very emotional week, and I couldn't trust myself to really talk about it without, you know, just breaking down. But now that she's doing better, I can talk about it. And yeah, if you know her, if you didn't know her, just please keep her in your thoughts and prayers, because we really want her to get well soon. That's been one heck of a thing to, you know, control. I don't know how many of y'all have lost or had something like that happen to somebody very important close to you, but it's not the best feeling in the world. The worry, and it's very exhausting, because I spend all my free time when I'm like, the reason I've been going out a lot like this week is because when I'm surrounded by other people, it's harder to think, like have time to think about it. So when I'm at home like right now and there's nobody around, there's no noise or anything, I start to think about it. So it's a very emotional day, but what I'm going through is nothing compared to what her family is going through. So keep them in your thoughts as well, and prayers. I'm very positive that she's going to be just fine. She'll pull through. I know she will. She's a strong girl. And I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know how to say it. I mean, it's just, I don't know, a punch to the face. Not that, I don't know. It's just, suddenly I realize now that this can happen to people I know, or even me. Like, when you hear about stuff that's happened, like recently a boy here named Chris passed away, and my friends knew him, but I didn't know him, and I mean, this was just a couple of days before the accident with Haley, and I'm like, well, that's never happened to me. Stuff like that doesn't happen. Like, I didn't think that, but you kind of feel it, you know, when before something like that critical happens, you don't necessarily think it, but you realize later that you kind of felt that that stuff doesn't happen to you. Nothing like that could happen to you or the people that you know. And when it happens to you, it's such a shock. Like, I remember, thankfully, I found out from a friend that what had happened to Haley. I didn't find out from, like, a newspaper or the internet. My friend told me, and for 5 minutes, like, I was in complete shock. And the only thing I could say was, "You're joking, right? This is just some kind of sick joke." It floored me. I didn't think that anything that serious could happen to somebody I actually knew. I mean, we've had family members in the past that we've lost, but it was no one I was, you know, necessarily really close to. It was odd having to, like, progress through life without them, but they were, like, not a major part of my life. So it didn't impact me in a way that it necessarily should have. But when it's somebody I used to go to school with and see on a daily basis, and someone I was just hugging, like just had in my arms the day before, it's just like, wow, like this really happened. And it just opens your eyes to like how easily life can just end for somebody. Like, she could have died, and thankfully, I cannot stress how thankful I am that she survived and that she's going to be okay. But the worst could have happened, and I don't know how I would have handled that, or any of us would have handled that. And it's a very serious thing to, well, obviously it's a serious thing. It's just, I'm finding it's kind of hard to word things. But, I mean, it's such an eye-opener that anybody, me or anybody I know that's close to me, can just disappear at a moment's notice. Like, I'm very, very glad that it wasn't like me and her had a fight that day and then that it happened. I'm so, so thankful that we were on good terms before that happened. Even though she lived through it, like, if we had had a fight, I would have felt so terrible because I love her to death. She means a lot to me. She's a really good friend and a great person. And I'm just so thankful that we were on good terms, because it would just be horrible. I mean, I hear stories about people that had a fight with someone minutes before they lost them. And it, like, with the way me and my parents fight sometimes, I'm kind of worried, you know, what if that's the last thing we say to each other sometime? And I know my mom watches these, so Mom, if we ever have a fight, know that I didn't mean it, and I do love you. So I don't want you to think just because we had a fight I hate you. I'll never hate you, you're my mom. And if Dad's watching this too, we fight even more. So when we have our daily fights, I don't mean it either. I love you too, you're my dad. Just on the off chance that something ever happens, anybody that I ever fight with, if something happens to me, please don't blame it on yourself or say that it's your fault. If we had a fight, I'm more than confident that it was just some silly thing that we would have gotten over like a day later or something. So, you know, just a little preparation. If something ever happens to me and I had a fight with somebody, whether that event cost me my life or not, do not blame yourself. Don't feel guilty about it, because you had no way of knowing that it would happen. A lot of y'all might think I'm weird for leaving a video like that, but you never know what could happen. So it's just a little preparation. Something could happen to me tomorrow. I could be going to hang out with my friends and be hit by Lord knows what. I mean, yeah, it's a scary thought, but it could happen. And I don't want to risk somebody beating themselves up over my injury or death. So, like, all my friends, family, I love you all. Please, don't blame yourself if something were to happen. You know, thinking about it, I can't necessarily promise myself or you that I'm not going to feel guilty if we have a fight and something happens to you. Of course I'll feel guilty, but I'll know that still inside we had a very close friendship or relationship together. So just, I don't know, something to remember. So this is a little video to remember me by if something were to happen, because life's unexpected. You can never plan it. So I've definitely way overgone my limit. This is gonna be one hell of an editing job to keep and everything. So I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye. Oh yeah, Mom and Dad, please don't do that whole "oh, he said he loved us" thing, and then follow me around the house going "you said you loved us," like I know you're gonna do. Please don't do that. Please. Cut me some slack, okay? Just pretend you didn't hear it, but know that you heard it. Just when you're around me, act like you didn't hear it. Just be like, oh, there's our son who hates us. You know, just do that.